From the Berkshires to the Sound, from wherever you live in MLB America, this is Inside the Parker. You give us 22 minutes and we'll give you the scoop on Major League Baseball. Now, here's Baseball Hall of Fame voter number 57.
You have another hot take.
Will not NOT make the playoffs.
Shohei me the money.
Rob Parker.
Come on! I've been covering Major League Baseball for almost 40 years now. In New York, in Cincinnati, in Detroit, in LA. I love this game. Let's go! Welcome into the podcast, and I'm your host, Rob Parker. And what a show we have for you today. Before we even get started, remember, press this button, the subscribe button, so that you're always here, always up to date with all the best coverage of Major League Baseball. As you know, I've been covering baseball since 1986. I love the sport. This is the place for your baseball fix. Inside the Parker, sponsored by Cuffin Season. Lock in the flavor your taste buds will love at cuffinseason.us. Get yours today. And for an extra 10% off, use the code MLB Bro in all caps. Welcome into the podcast. I'm your host, Rob Parker, and we have a very special Hall of Fame edition of Inside the Parker. Coming up, we'll talk with Milwaukee Brewers center fielder Blake Perkins. Also, Tom Hamilton, the longtime radio voice of the Cleveland Guardians, and he'll have a special weekend because he's inducted into the broadcasters wing of the Hall of Fame this coming weekend. That plus foul or fair. Let's go.
To lead off, it's Getting Robbed.
And keep them up.
Rob's hot take on the three biggest stories in Major League Baseball. Number 1.
On Sunday, CC Sabathia will be inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, New York, and it is deserving. I did vote for CC Sabathia, first time on the ballot, first time Hall of Famer, and totally deserves it. He belongs to a very prestigious club. He had a great career, of course, with Cleveland and Milwaukee and the Yankees. Won a World Series in 2009 with the Yankees, but he belongs to the 3,000 strikeout club. There are only 20 members, and with his induction, 15 of the 20 will be in the Hall of Fame. The three others who aren't in yet will be Clayton Kershaw, Justin Verlander, and Max Scherzer, all obviously who are still active but will be in the Hall of Fame when they're retire and their career is over. And then the only two who aren't in who have reached the 3,000 mark, Roger Clemens, of course, steroid controversy, and Curt Schilling, who just didn't make it in. Never won a Cy Young. There's some other issues on why Curt Schilling didn't get in. But anyway, CC Sabathia, Hall of Famer, no ifs, ands, or buts. What a fantastic career. I remember 2009 when he was the ALCS MVP and pitched the Yankees into the World Series. And then, of course, they won in 2009. Congratulations to CC Sabathia. He deserves the honor.
Number 2.
Ichiro Suzuki, better known as Ichiro, of course, is a Hall of Famer. Man, what a career he had in the big leagues. We know how great of a player he was in Japan before he even showed up to the United States. And I mean, I got to put my glasses on and just read the stats if you question anything. Obviously, unbelievable. Ichiro gets in, 1 vote short of being unanimous. Career batting average 311, 3,089 career hits. I don't even know what else to say other than he's a Hall of Famer. He's a great player, defensively, offensively, did everything you could ask a player to do. And 1 vote shy of being unanimous, but that happens. It happened to Derek Jeter as well. Only Mariano Rivera was unanimous. So Ichiro's in good company with Derek Jeter, and well worth the honor of being a Hall of Famer.
Number 3.
Justin Verlander, and we already mentioned him. Yes, he's going to the Hall of Fame. The San Francisco Giants right-hander, but let's be honest, there's no way he could have imagined that potentially his last season could be this bad in the big leagues. Verlander, of course, lost his first 8 decisions of 2025. On Wednesday, though, Justin Verlander earned his first win as a San Francisco Giant in a game against the Atlanta Braves, ending a 16-game winless streak. Unbelievable. The Giants won 9-3 with Verlander pitching 5 innings, allowing just 1 hit. The victory marked his 263rd career win in MLB.
Here comes the big interview. Listen and learn.
Oh, it's so good.
All right, now let's welcome into the podcast Blake Perkins, the center fielder for the Milwaukee Brewers, who is back in action, coming back Friday after that shin fracture. And Blake, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having me, man. It's good to be here.
Yep, appreciate you. Take me back to February. I know it's painful, the BP and the broken shin and all that. What happened?
It was just another routine day early on in the year, and I was facing my good friend Freddie. Just a normal foul ball off my leg, and usually it hurts, so it hurt, but I didn't think anything too much of it originally. Just trying to treat it as any other time it would be, and then I would say after a day or two of it, the pain just getting worse and worse. I figured that something was a little bit off, but there was no fracture that showed up on the imaging, the X-rays. So just kind of treated it as a contusion, bone bruise, and eventually we were able to see that it was a fracture, and it made a lot of sense after all that.
With all the pain and everything,
yeah.
Right? And then as you rehab and get back, you have a groin injury as well. When you're like, okay, this is crazy.
Just, I feel like it's pretty common to have something pop up on the getting back into playing, and I was trying to do my very best to not have that issue, but it came up, and luckily it wasn't as bad as, or it wasn't that bad. Pretty much just a few days rest, and I've been feeling pretty good ever since then.
All right, let's talk about your return Friday night, first time up, hit. This has to feel good. I'm not saying that you doubt yourself, but when you've been injured and you haven't been around, you could start to see the slump and have to fight your way back. Did it feel good?
Yeah. Any hit in the big leagues feels good, man. And it was just cool to be back out there. I think when you're gone for so long, the little things like the everyday stuff isn't as in your face as it is for these other guys who've been playing all year. So I'm just kind of happy to be back, and it feels great.
Our guest is Blake Perkins, center fielder for the Milwaukee Brewers, back in action after a shin injury. And how tough was it watching your team? And your team is good. To watch your team play, and I guess it's easier if you're winning.
Yeah, 100%. They started off a little slow, and I've been watching pretty much every game until I got here, so it's been really nice to see them kind of pick it up and some stuff go their way, and some guys kind of find their footing, Durbin and Isaac Collins has done a great job. So it's been really cool to see those guys step up.
And how about you? Last year, your first real full season, played over 120 games in center field. What did you want to build on coming into this season? Obviously, it was somewhat derailed, but still.
Yeah. Well, every year you can get a little bit better at the defensive side, so working on my first step times out there, and obviously the biggest thing is on the offensive side, just being more comfortable, being a little bit more aggressive at the plate, trying to kick the strikeouts a little bit. So that was kind of my plan in the beginning. It's still part of the plan now, but with everything going on, I'm just trying to get out there and do the best I can.
Surprised you said defensively, because don't be modest. You were a finalist for Gold Glove in center field the first full year of the big leagues in center field every day. When you heard the nomination, I know you didn't win it, but still, what was that like? And did you think you had a shot at it?
Yeah, of course.
You made some plays last year.
Yeah. Kind of just an honor that I would be in the running for it in general. I think I had the least amount of games played out of the three of us, so I thought it was just a privilege to be even in the category, be nominated. So that's pretty much like has only been that's been my only goal since growing up was to win a Gold Glove. So
What, really?
Yeah.
That was it?
Yeah.
When did you know you were a superior fielder? And I'm going to say superior because to think you could win a Gold Glove, you got to think, you could go get it, jump over the fence, all that kind of stuff.
I'd say in high school, for sure, I felt like it came pretty natural to me, and I had all this confidence in myself, and I don't know. I wanted to be the best at that. Like, I knew that that's what I could do, and it's fun to show it and have other people recognize it.
How about the wheels? I think last year you had 23 stolen bases. Are you going to slow down on that right now, or you're 100% just going to play?
Yeah, 100%. Obviously, it's situational. I'm not just stealing bags to steal bags. But yeah, just build off of last year. I think be a little bit more aggressive, especially stealing third base. Kind of locking that in a little bit more too. But in general, I'm full go.
One last question. The Brewers, you guys have really good regular seasons, the postseason, that for whatever reason you guys haven't, I'm sure that's the goal. Has this team got enough to make a postseason run?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, we have like the same core guys are leaders, and they instill in us that hunger to get there. And none of us were satisfied about last year, about the year before that. So yeah, I think it's just getting over that first hump. I think that since it's kind of been the case the last few years, it's just getting past that. And yeah, these guys, we got the tenacity to do that, I think, and the resilience. Okay, Blake Perkins, patrolling center field for the Milwaukee Brewers. He's back in action. Great to have him, and thanks for joining the podcast. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
In case you missed Rob Parker on the MLB Network, here's his latest appearance on MLB Now.
Showdown time. Our good friend Rob Parker is with us. Rob, Brian Kenny here. Great to have you back on the show.
Always, BK. How are you?
Excellent. We have a lot to get to, including Hall of Fame induction weekend this weekend. I know you're excited. I'm excited. I want to start with this. Allow me, because I know you're against this. We did this, I think, last time or the time before. Allow me to sell you on the challenge system for balls and strikes, which I believe is coming next year. All right? Exhibit A. Mets and Angels yesterday. Luis Rengifo, the home plate umpire, by the way, is Eric Backus. Now look at Edwin Diaz. Miss 3 times on this. These all, I'm going to say, might be strikes. And now Rengifo is upset. Angels in the dugout, they were getting thrown out of the ball game because they were losing their minds. And you know what? I don't even know if that box is 100% correct, Rob. Like, I'm not even saying that he blew all 3 calls because they were all in the same spot. It looks like he missed all 3. But instead of beefing about it, you can just challenge that. And you can challenge all 3 because if you win your challenge, you keep your challenge. What's wrong with that?
Do we really want to sit there all day and have every pitch challenged or where everything is questioned? And I get it. Those were bad pitches. They all looked out of the strike zone. You're going to have those moments. But BK, I'm gonna put you on the spot.
Uh-huh.
Should Greg Maddux now be taken out of the Hall of Fame if we go back?
No, but that can change. That can change. Yeah, and Jimmy Key, right? I know. And all back in the 90s, they made up their own strike zone. But we're not there now. But that would fix that. I believe if they did that to that home plate umpire on the first call and they were right, he'd have to think, all right, this what I think is a strike is not. I got to tighten up my zone a little bit.
No, but here's the issue is that when they do the gradings for most umpires, nobody's 100%, but most guys are in very workable and satisfactory position.
Yes, but just saying, let's say that umpire, again, that was Eric Backus. Let's say he's perfect, but right there, he misses 3 within a short period of time in 1AB. You could fix it. With the challenge, I don't want to nitpick every call. You're right. I don't want to play lawyer ball. But you could say, hey, look, instead of complaining and getting thrown out and screaming at guys, Aaron Boone got thrown out yesterday, too. Instead of screaming at guys, hey, challenge it. And maybe you're wrong. Maybe they're wrong on that, too. Maybe when we see the real strike zone, not just the one that we see on TV, maybe he was right. And then we'll know.
Okay, where's the punishment if you're wrong? There should be a punishment.
Eventually, yeah, no, if you have an umpire that's still missing, yeah. But all right, let me ask you, where's the punishment out on the bases? Rob, they fix these calls on the bases all the time. Do we see guys getting punished? Nah, you miss a call, it happens, we move on. Let's go. We'll be fine. It's fine right now with replay out on the bases.
Yeah, I just I don't think that it impacts the game as much as people make it out to. I don't remember that many games where I go and I lament over, oh my God. When they're bad calls, I'll say with my buddies at the bar, the umpire needs glasses, that was a terrible call, whatever, and we move on to the next game. That's all.
You know, largely I agree with you, but today I believe the Yankees, the Diamondbacks, and the Angels would disagree with you from games yesterday. Yesterday, Rob. That's it. Okay. Juan Soto. Now, here's another thing. The Juan Soto thing I thought was hilarious, but you have to admit that's over, right?
No, what do you mean is it over? No, it's not over. Have you looked at his recent numbers?
He's one of the top 10 hitters in the game. He's one of the top 10. Be fair. He's one of the top 10 hitters in the game. Be fair. A little bit.
One hit in his last 16 at-bats. Go look at, he's got one multiple hit game in his last 14 games. He's batting 253. It's August, almost August. All I'm saying is he's been the biggest disappointment. You can look at some of the other numbers, but if you honestly look at Juan Soto from last year in pinstripes and this year in the orange and blue of the
He was better last year.
He's not the same player.
He's better. I'll give you that. But again, I give you credit. You're going after the Brewers when they're winning. You're going after Soto when he's in the top 10 and he's playing well. I give you credit. You don't punch down. You punch up. I like that. Hall of Fame induction weekend. I want to get this in. You run MLB Bro, focusing on the black ball player. This is a big weekend for that. Dick Allen, Dave Parker, inducted posthumously. Give me their importance to black baseball, the players, the community.
Well, and Dave Parker, the Cobra, what he stood for as far as he was one of those guys that people remember. He had an awesome presence, unbelievable moments, the All-Star game, the throw, big home runs. We Are Family team. You remember that team was filled with black and Hispanic players, the We Are Family team that won the World Series. And he was a big part of it. He was black through and through, and people in the black community really connected with him. So Dave Parker is a big figure and had an awesome nickname, the Cobra.
And Dick Allen goes back earlier, facing real racism, back in the day, and then, again, got a bad reputation and fought with management. But you know what? The guy was not just a great hitter, he was a great base runner. So he must have been busting it somewhere. If you read the reports from the days, you think he's just laying around smoking cigarettes all the time. He must have been running at some point because his record says otherwise. He's largely regarded as the best player not in the Hall of Fame. I think this rights are wrong.
Yeah, I agree with you from the standpoint that his numbers speak for itself, but there was a malaise about him and a conversation about him. Maybe he didn't was able to make everybody feel good around him, I guess is the term I'm trying to say. But sometimes everybody's not going to be on that level, or everybody doesn't have the same personality, but you still can respect the job that he did and the numbers that he put up. And he'll go into the Hall of Fame. 2 more black players deserving. So it's a good thing for baseball. And sometimes you got to correct stuff.
For his 10-year peak, we're talking 10 years, not just a peak. We're talking 10 years. He had the second best OPS plus in the game. Hank Aaron was number 1, Dick Allen number 2. It was a low-run scoring era when he was playing through the 60s. So, some of his numbers don't look as bombastic as the Rockies in 2002, but, he was hitting a ton. Rob, great having you back on the show. Thank you so much. I'll be thinking of you in Cooperstown.
All right, BK, enjoy it. No doubt about it.
When Rob was a newspaper columnist, he lived by this motto: if I'm writing, I'm ripping. Let's bring in a writer or broadcaster, old or new.
Now let's welcome into the podcast Tom Hamilton, the Hall of Fame broadcaster for the Cleveland Guardians. Well, this weekend in July, you will be inducted the Ford C. Frick Award for broadcasters. Tom, congratulations, and I'm really thrilled for you.
Well, thank you. It's still very surreal. It's humbling. We're grateful. And I say we because, without a great wife, none of this becomes possible. So I still can't believe it's occurred. But now you're knee deep into the season, so that's kind of your focus. But July will be fun.
Let me ask you your love for baseball. Where did that start, Tom, and when did you realize you loved the game?
Well, we were dairy farmers about half an hour outside of Madison, Wisconsin. And like so many people back then, dairy farms were 150 acres, and your mom and dad milked 50 cows. I was never old enough to milk. My parents eventually sold the farm, and we moved into a small town 5 minutes away when I was 13. But for me, really, it was, and I'm dating myself, but, those were the Milwaukee Braves in the, mid-'60s, early 60s of Hank Aaron and Eddie Matthews and Warren Spahn and Lou Burdett and Joe Torre. And I was too young when they went to back-to-back World Series in 57 and 58. But for me to listen, on the porch on a transistor radio, which I know nobody knows what that is anymore.
Believe it or not, I used to listen to a transistor radio, listening to Mets games as a kid in New York.
When you're, out on a farm, your closest neighbor may be a half a mile away. So you're not getting together with kids around the block and playing. That was my entertainment. That's where my love came for it. Like everybody else, I wanted to play it at that major league level, but learned early in life I better have a backup plan.
And you, boy, what a great backup plan you did pick. And talk about when you got the job in Cleveland. 35-year run as the voice of the Guardians, and your first game. Do you remember it?
Yep. Okay. Yeah.
Tell me how you got the job first.
Well, my wife and I were expecting our first child. I was in Columbus at the time, and was able to do a couple of innings of home games with Terry Smith, the longtime voice of the Los Angeles Angels. Terry was gracious enough to let me sit in with him during home games. The key word there for the radio station was I volunteered. Long as you didn't ask for money, oh, yeah, you bet, you can do it. And so we were expecting our first child, Nicholas, in November of 1989. I was part of the Ohio State football broadcast, so that was all pretty encompassing. You're focused on your first child. The job had opened. I hadn't applied. The week of Christmas, we got a story out of the Cleveland Plain Dealer. Back in those days, the paper came to Columbus and saw they were down to their final four. Kind of kicked myself for not applying because, you always feel like, well, they're not going to look at the number 2 guy. And put together a resume and an audition tape after Mass on Christmas morning because nobody was at the radio station, and lucky enough they listened, and from there eventually got hired in January of 1990. So sometimes I think it's a miracle that the job hadn't been filled by then, and so I've been very fortunate.
How about the first game, and what do you remember about it?
Well, like so many times back then, we were in a lockout/strike. Spring training was abbreviated. We only went to Tucson for a few weeks. Season started a week later, and we were supposed to open up in New York. Instead, the Yankees came to our place on a weeknight. We got into the 3rd or 4th inning, Rob, and a blizzard came off Lake Erie and ended that ball game. So it was kind of a welcome to Cleveland moment.
Wow, that's unbelievable. Our guest is Tom Hamilton, of course, soon-to-be Hall of Fame broadcaster for the Cleveland Guardians, 35 years on the mic, on the radio. And I say this with all sincerity because I've listened to you. You know, I worked in Detroit for a long time. But your voice, outstanding. Just great to hear baseball. And I'm the biggest baseball fan going. So I really appreciate guys who do baseball on the radio. One of your calls, you've had a number of great calls. But a lot of people will remember, of course, was the fight between Jose Ramirez and, of course, Tim Anderson. Just take us through that because it was you went viral with your call on that. Where'd that come from? Was that your inner Howard Cosell?
You know what? I think you are a product of your generation. and when I was growing up in the 60s, again, Howard Cosell was the biggest thing on television, and ABC Wild World of Sports, and Olympic boxing was such a big thing, and it's just so different than it is 60 years later. But I think anybody that was a fight fan remembers Smokin' Joe Frazier, Muhammad Ali, and George Foreman. Why that popped up, Rob, at that time, I have no idea. It's a spontaneity thing. You never do a baseball game going, boy, I can't wait to become a boxer here in the 6th inning. It was so out of left field. It was so unpredictable, so unexpected. And again, I'm not trying to get religious on people, because a lot of people aren't religious, but I really feel like the good Lord put the right words in my mouth at the right time. If people thought, though, it wasn't planned, how did it come out? I don't know. And again, if you start thinking about what you said and what you're going to say, I think you lose your spontaneity, and I got lucky, that's all.
Again, congratulations to Tom Hamilton this weekend. He'll be inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, the Ford C. Frick Award, a deserving honor to an outstanding young man.
Thank you, Rob. Good to be with you, bud.
Always, always. Thank you.
Now, here's the best from MLBBro.com.
Yo, what up? It's Chris, and here's what's popping today on MLBBro.com.
What a run it's been for Tampa Bay Rays rookie center fielder Chandler Simpson, who saw his 13-game history ended in his team's 5-3 loss at the hands of the Baltimore Orioles on Sunday. Simpson was sent down to the minor leagues at the end of May, but since being called up on June 24th, he's recorded a hit in all but 3 of the 21 games that he's played in. During his 13-game hit streak, Simpson recorded a total of 18 hits with 3 doubles. The rookie started his career off with an 8-game hit streak and has been a constant in the Rays lineup during his time in the big leagues. Simpson is a threat on the base pass as well, with 27 stolen bags on the year. As the second half begins, let's see if the young bro can help the Rays sneak into the playoffs. And that's what's popping today on MLBBro.com.
For more, right now, go to MLBBro.com.
That ball is.
It was a big week in the big leagues.
Who's up? Who's up?
I don't believe it! My, oh my!
Is it foul or is it fair? And now, from MLBBro.com, here's J.R. Gamble.
CC Sabathia becomes the 3rd black pitcher in Major League history to make it to the Hall of Fame. JR, is it foul or fair to say that another black pitcher won't make it to the Hall of Fame?
Foul. The black ace is very rare in the game of baseball. Black pitchers who have won 20 games in a season, only 15 of them. Black Hall of Fame pitchers are even more rare. Come July 27, CC Sabathia will have accomplished both. The California kid follows Fergie Jenkins, Bullet Bob Gibson, as just the 3rd black starter in history to make Cooperstown. There were never a lot of black pitchers, but we've had some great ones. Of course, longevity is part of the equation. When starting pitchers rack up enough stats to be considered Hall of Fame worthy, they've usually had long careers. Pitchers in general don't pitch deep enough into games anymore to win 251 games over a career like CC. There are black pitchers you can name that were Hall of Fame talents, from J.R. Richard to Dwight Gooden, but they didn't have the longevity to be considered for the Hall of Fame. Currently, Hunter Green has Hall of Fame talent, but his injuries lead us to believe his career won't be long enough to reach that plateau. There aren't many other black pitchers right now who are proving to be potential Hall of Fame talents on the level of a Paul Scaines or Tariq Skubal, Justin Verlander, Max Scherzer. And that's why CC said that he wants to find the next him. Hall of Fame has one black closer too in Lee Smith. So let's not forget that you don't have to be a starting pitcher to make the Hall of Fame. But with just 4 black pitchers getting the honor, it's not something that happens often. And it's something that, unfortunately, we may never see again in our lifetime. There's no black pitchers today who have even made enough impact as starters to be tabbed as next up. So no, we won't see it happen. maybe ever again, for a really long time.
Make way for Weekend Wagers.
Yo, it's Sean Bo. Fire up those bed naps. Let's go.
Was a rough week last week. Another 0-2 week, 15 wins, 19 losses so far in the season. But let's get right, man. We need a 2-0, and let's get that cracking on Friday as the Dodgers, who just broke through their little slump, take on the Red Sox. And I'm loving the over 8.5 total runs. I know y'all ain't feeling the Dodgers, but you know the Red Sox will pull through either way. Then on Saturday, let's go 2-0. Let's do it with the Stro Show. The melanated Mount Marauder takes on his former team in the Phillies, and I'm feeling good with the Yankees at home. -1.5 on that home favorite. Let's go 2-0 with Sean Bo inside the Parker.
Hi, I'm Rob Parker, the founder and editor of MLBBro.com, where we cover black and brown major leaguers. 75% of the content will be about the current black and brown stars in Major League Baseball. The other 25% will take a look back at some of the great black players. On the site, there'll be a ton of great written stories and videos and features.
MLB Bro, because you need to know.
MLB fans, when it comes to Major League Baseball, no one covers it better than the Odd Couple.
Fact.
I am the baseball king.
First, second, third, and home.
We're leading shows with baseball. Game over. They don't watch it. They don't know the game.
All in one place.
Let's go!
Right here on Fox Sports Radio.
I love baseball.
In the words of New York TV legend, the late Bill Jorgensen, thanking you for your time this time until next time. Rob Parker, out.
He can't get it. This could be an inside the Parker.
See you next week. Same bat time, same bat station.